Morgues are supposed to be silent, controlled places, rooms where death is methodical, predictable. My name is Dr. Adrian Keller, and I've worked as a medical examiner for nearly 25 years. I've seen the worst of death, the aftermath of violence, disease, accidents, but nothing, not even the most violent crime scenes, prepared me for the night I encountered something impossible on the autopsy table. It was past midnight when I arrived. My assistant, a young trainee named Lisa, had just left, leaving me alone with a new body, a middle-aged man named Paul Donovan. Death ruled accidental, routine autopsy. Everything seemed normal until I opened the body bag. The skin was pale, cold, but there was something unnerving. His eyes, half open, reflecting the harsh overhead lights. I chalked it up to rigor mortis and began preparations. Yet I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. At 1:15 a.m., I noticed the body's fingers twitch, small, almost imperceptible movements. I froze, perhaps nerve endings reacting to cold. I tried to rationalize it. Then a faint breath, cold, uneven, against my cheek. I turned sharply. Nothing, just the cold air of the morgue and the soft hum of refrigeration units. But the fingers twitched again, slowly curling as if to grasp something invisible. Lisa had warned me about focusing too long on one case. I should have listened. By 1:47 a.m., the whispers began. Low, indecipherable, seeming to echo from the walls themselves. I turned to the monitors. Security cameras capturing only still images. Nothing moving. Yet the whispering grew louder, closer, circling me. The body's lips moved slightly, and for a moment I thought I heard a faint plea. I stepped back, heart pounding. This was no ordinary night. The morgue itself seemed alive. At 2:03 a.m., I glanced toward the corner and saw it, a shadowy figure standing just beyond the rows of tables, pale, indistinct, yet humanoid. It didn't move toward me, but it didn't retreat either. My flashlight flickered, illuminating the figure momentarily, then darkness swallowed it again. I froze, unable to call out. The air grew heavier, my chest tight, the scent of formaldehyde mixing with something foul, almost rotting. The body on the table twitched again, this time more violently, as if responding to the presence. By 2:30 a.m., the morgue's electronics began to fail. Monitors flickered, showing distorted images of the room. A figure behind me. I couldn't see in reality. Instruments sliding across tables without contact. The overhead light buzzed, dimmed, then brightened suddenly. I felt the air shift, a cold gust against my neck, though no doors were open. The body's torso twitched, moving slightly off the table. Though gravity made no sense of it, I realized then, something wanted my attention. At 3:02 a.m., the unimaginable happened. The table lifted slightly, almost imperceptibly, then more pronounced. Instruments hovered, then fell to the floor, with metallic clatter. I stumbled backward, tripping over a stool. The shadow figure was closer now, head tilted, motionless. The body's chest rose and fell in time with an invisible breath. I tried to call for help, but my phone was dead. The morgue was alive, breathing, and waiting. I realized then, death here is not the end. It's just the beginning of another presence. At 3:45 a.m. I approached the table cautiously. The shadow figure moved with me, mimicking each step. My breath fogged in the cold air. The body on the table's hand twitched toward me, almost like a warning. I placed my own hand near it, frozen by fear. The temperature plummeted. I could see my own breath. Then a whisper, clear this time. Leave. The figure faded into the corner. The table returned to normal. I was alone, but I knew I was not. The morgue had claimed another witness. By 5:20 a.m., I staggered out of the morgue. The cleaning crew arrived soon after. Nothing appeared disturbed. I avoided the morgue for weeks. Colleagues warned me about late-night autopsies, about bodies moving, shadows lingering, but I had seen it for myself. To this day, when I close my eyes, I see that table lifting, instruments floating, and the shadow figure watching, waiting. Death, I realized, is not silent. It speaks, it moves, and sometimes it reaches out.
Hospitals are meant to be places of healing, but there are rooms inside them that reek of endings. Rooms where silence clings to the walls and the air grows heavy with the metallic tang of cold steel and something older, something that smells like endings. This is the story of a young medical student named Elias Warren, who walked into one of those rooms late at night and never walked out the same. Elias was 24, bright, ambitious, determined to make his mark. He had seen surgeries before, cadavers in classrooms, bones catalogued in labs. But this was different. This was real. The hospital's pathology wing was notorious among students. It was where the dead were prepared to be explained, where their stories were supposed to end. And Elias, eager to prove himself, volunteered to spend one night assisting in the morgue. Only one night. That's all it was supposed to be. Would you stay alone in a morgue at midnight? The room was cold, too cold. The table in the center gleamed, a slab of stainless steel, its surface fitted with drains and grooves. On it lay a body covered with a white sheet. The supervising doctor, an older man with tired eyes, gave Elias quick instructions before stepping out. Take notes. Don't touch anything until I return. And just like that, Elias was alone. Or at least, he thought he was. The camera lingers on the white sheet. Slowly, ever so slowly, the sheet seems to rise and fall, as if something beneath it is breathing. At first, it was nothing. The hum of the refrigeration units, the buzz of the lights, the way sound seemed to vanish inside that cold room. Elias opened his notebook and began to write. But then he noticed something. The sheet had moved. He froze. His pen slipped from his hand and clattered onto the tile. Did the body just breathe? Calm down, he whispered to himself. It was probably a draft, a trick of the air. But when he bent down to pick up the pen, he noticed a drop of liquid on the floor, dark red. It hadn't been there before, and when he looked back up, the sheet was no longer covering the body's face. Two pale, glassy eyes stared back at him. Quick close-up, the corpse's eyes wide open, unblinking. The lights flicker violently. Elias stumbled backward, slamming into a tray of instruments. Scalpels clattered to the floor. "Doctor!" he called, his voice shaking. No answer. He told himself it was rigor mortis, muscles twitching, nerves firing. That's all. That's all it could be. But the body's lips began to move, and in a voice that sounded like air escaping from somewhere deep within, it whispered, "Why, am I still here? What would you do if the dead spoke to you?"